Hi there, my name is Arexi Pukanikin. Thank you for tuning in. We're ballin' today, tomorrow, and most definitely yesterday. At what cost? We're still ballin'. Okay, here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is another one of those where there's not much going on in the grand scheme of things. There's not much going on. So instead of, planning out what I'm going to talk about today, I have nothing planned. I actually have piss all. I really do. Sorry about that. But yeah, we had a UFC Seattle last weekend, started off fire, prelims. I think it was all finishes, but then we started, we kind of hit the peak in the middle of the fight night, and then it kind of the second half was let's just say at least the main event was a bit of a stalemate. Whatever the hell that means. Henry Cejudo, going through some adversity, and Song Yadong just taking the technical win, and a bit of controversy there with eye poking because, of course, it happens to Henry Cejudo, and Henry Cejudo complaining, oh my God, I got eye poked, and it's obviously a disadvantage when you get eye poked. But then you think about it, is it advantageous the fact that Song Yadong is Chinese? Like the fact that his eyes are that small. I mean, look at my eyes. There you go. So then you're kind of thinking, well, does Song Yadong have like a factory advantage? You know what I'm saying? So what are we really complaining about? This is racism. No, I'm kidding. So that's kind of how UFC Seattle went down last weekend. And yeah, I mean, that was pretty much the only... Sorry. We had a fight night in Saudi Arabia too, a Riyadh season. And, boxers going up against each other. I personally was like, I really wanted Team China go for 2-for-2 Saturday night. However, we got the Song Yadong win. Unfortunately, my boy in the heavyweights, I forget his name. I'm sorry. What is his name? Jung something. Yeah, Jile Jung. He unfortunately got TKO'd. He's doing really well, but he's one of those fighters that you notice it's like he'll take the hits and kind of play it off like he's taking it no problem until he can't. And heavyweight boxing is, damn, I'll tell you, if you get hit nowadays, it's a pretty, and the guy's 41, so it's not like he's in his like athletic prime. But that was the world of boxing. Pretty sure the guy who won the main event is gonna go against Canelo next. Maybe that's the rematch to make. Who knows? Canelo at the same time getting accused of things by Jake Paul, which is again, yes, guys. No one in the world of combat sports is denying the money. And in a way, money translates to entertainment value. What is your entertainment value? Jake Paul or Logan Paul, whatever the frickin' Paul is, whoever the Paul, they got entertainment value. Now, does entertainment value mean boxing skills? That can be argued. The way Canelo looks at it, Jake Paul, there is money. There's entertainment value in the fact that, yes, a lot of people are probably going to pay good money to see you beat the crap out of, for example, Jake Paul. But that's the whole thing. Where's the boxing value? Because that's the event in its essence, is the boxing. What value does this bring to the boxing world? It's been only about like 50 years, half a century since we've had arguably the best boxing matches of all time. Like, Frazier, Ali, all these fucking crazy classics of heavyweight boxing, right? And now we're getting to this, man. It really is fucking night and day. That's why I pay so much. Like, think about that last weekend. It was boxing in Saudi Arabia, which would have been my time. Like, the main event was perfectly for me to watch. However, I'd still almost consider pulling an all-nighter watching like a UFC Seattle, like a regular fight night. Not even a numbered UFC event, because there's every single matchup that they have in terms of just the combat sport seems like it's just adding value to it. Now, I think other than, what Saudi Arabia is doing now with boxing, at which I do support, I'm just, slowly getting there. I am really slowly getting there. It's a process, but I'll get there in terms of, fully appreciating modern day boxing. I've already fully appreciated it and gained all my knowledge from like boxing history as much as I could. But now it's all about just UFC seems to be the place where, in terms of constant increase of value of combat sports, UFC is the place instead of boxing. And that's just the truth right now. Simply the truth. I don't even have my fucking John Jones Miocic cup running. Okay, no, I can keep on fucking going. I don't even give a shit. This is actually very relaxing here. We already did almost more than 5 minutes on just some combat sports, but that's all it is. There's going to be another fight night this week, this time in the UFC Apex. I know Manel Kape is fighting the main event against some other guy, but right now it looks like the UFC homepage is not working, so we can't see the upcoming fight night. Sure, it's going to be entertaining. I did look at it the past weekend. I think it's just some, early on in the UFC career, or however may be the UFC career, they're on their way to the top. UFC Apex Night, I'm sure it's going to be a great time either way. Prelims are starting a little earlier, so I'll be sure to catch that at least. Can't promise you on the rest. In terms of something happening in the world of sports, the preseason testing for F1 is this weekend. Not really sure how exciting that is. But this is the beginning. This is the beginning. Let's see which team sandbags the most. Let's see. That's for sure. I'm sure it's a lot of research. It's just like, what do we absolutely fucking suck at right now for each team, so they can at least allocate a little bit more money towards whatever fucking is really struggling. And then, but that's the thing. I can't. It really is one of those weird weeks. There's this preseason. Next week, there's UFC 313, so we'll be back in on the full action of a proper fight week. But right now, it's weird. We're right in the beginning of it. This is like when your legs kind of touch on the first date. You know what I'm saying? This is that moment where nothing is real yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. The little leg touch, the subtle, the small shit, but a lot can ensue after that. A lot can, absolutely. Why do I feel like there might be some weird female kind of scandal in F1 this season? I don't know what it is, man. I feel like this season is when it's gonna get like, I know last year there was some very whispers of accusations towards Christian Horner, but hey, let's just be fair, guys. That guy has a Spice Girl at home. I don't give a damn. The Spice Girls, they stay hot, so fucking, I don't think Christian's being that big of a deviant. I'm sure something gets done in one of the locations. I mean, they fly literally to every corner of Earth, pretty much, and that is part of their job title, I'm sure. Some things just stay with you, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. So in terms of, and this is like, we're accusing someone like Christian Horner, who's like the head guy of the whole freaking team that is married with children. What about the single guys who are under 25 years old? Like, we're like, that's the whole thing. Like, why don't we talk about these multi-millionaires who do, in essence, what is probably like the sexiest, or as glamorously sexy as it could get, driving fast cars, sponsored by high luxury brands, and as international and, suit and tie as we get? Why don't we talk about the level of just degeneracy and having a good time? It's it's a fine line, and those guys, if anyone can really push the boundaries of things, it's those guys. It's those Formula 1 drivers. It really is. Look at Lewis Hamilton, dude. He was the first wholesome light skin in terms of fucking straight up in the world, dude. Fuck, people think Drake is all that. There was a Lewis Hamilton before there was Drake. Okay, this super lovey-dovey light skin, guy who is not like built necessarily like the prime guy. Let's just stop it. Can we just stop it? Seriously. That's what I really like about what's going on to Ferrari. They're going back to the sexy. The fucking this is plain in your face sexy. It's not this weird kind of, oh, we're cool, and maybe we have like something that suggests a little bit of sexiness. No, we are sex. That's what Ferrari is going back to. That's what Aston Martin understands. They understand that green, where green like money is, where sexy like money is. There's nothing more sexy about money. And whoever thinks that is a lie, you're living in delusion. Money is sexy, okay? It just so happens to be, green is one of the main colors that Aston Martin, I go back to this again, a black, curvaceous woman singing beautifully, strings and horns, $1 million race car. That is sex. That is sex right there. Ferrari is sex, but then there's like teams like Alpine. I don't know if they're sex. They might, they're like, we're cool with the blue, and then we suggest something a little bit sexy like pink, and then we just but they don't really understand it. That's why they had the fucking what looks like Avicii out of the grave do a 10-minute DJ set for your car launch. It's just we don't understand. We need to understand the real, like the and I think that's what F1 is lacking. That's what it really, instead of the media going like, oh, so do you think that you should get penalized for running an extra tire, whatever the fuck it is, because they are really getting ridiculous. We've already been through the topic of them using cuss words or dirty words or, that's just all horseshit. We've been through that topic. But let's just get back to the media. Instead of being like, hey, what did you think about this team's decision to do this strategy? How about just, hey, dude, how's the women been like? Are you striking out in Hungary or are you doing well? How is the Australian women like? I heard they are very passionate, for being, white. They're very passionate lovers. How does that affect your racing? Like, can we, right? What about the nightlife here is going to make you race that much harder? What are the actual incentives? What are the real incentives? Money, yes. Women, yes. The adrenaline kick of knowing that my balls are bigger than the other guys, because that's just how I race. That too. We need to get back to the real. We need to stay, like we are still balling. They're still balling. That's the whole thing. It's just the media has been representing it wrong. They're still racing drivers, all right? Let's not forget that. Okay, I need to check how long I've been on that rant. Oh, shit, okay. Okay, not bad. We're getting there. We are getting there. So please, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be reporting intensely about F1 this upcoming season, but we're going to talk about the real stuff. The real stuff. How much partying do you think Lando Norris is going to be doing leading up to this? How will that affect his Sunday race? That's what we need to talk about. Is Oscar Piastri's girl being a little bit moody? Is Oscar struggling to deal with this, internally? Will this affect his qualifying on Saturday? Lewis Hamilton, were you able to receive your mandatory morning head from two bitches? If not, how will this affect your race weekend? Oh, you know what? Actually, I do have to say, right now that I'm in Singapore, I was able to have a selection of an half Asian, half Australian, and also an half Thai, half Singaporean. And in fact, these two wonderful ladies pleasured me in the morning well enough that I do think that this weekend we are going to be on pace, and Saturday we will be fighting for the pole position, and Sunday I do think we have a real shot at at least being on the podium, if not being able to take the number 1 spot. Well, thank you, Lewis. No. See, that's what I'm talking about. We need more of that. Really think about this. Imagine if Red Bull just goes, Max, we will let you be completely uncensored for the season. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Because, okay, as of right now, no one even wants to think about a Red Bull car being on the podium this season. I know that for sure. Motherfuckers don't even have that in their mind that a Red Bull car could be on the podium. I don't give a shit. So if we're having this thought, if we're having this opinion, if this is occurring right now, let's just let Max Verstappen 100% speak his mind about everything every race weekend. Please. You know the numbers that would bring in if Max Verstappen becomes the ultimate heel of F1. And it wouldn't even be a problem for him. In fact, Max would like that. Max would be like, holy shit, I can actually talk all the shit I want. Thank you. I'm still on the same contract. My value is fucking higher than ever. Thank you. Max Verstappen would take that opportunity instantly if it wasn't for the FIA and all the external factors that's running Red Bull's racing team, or Oracle. Blame it all, right? The F1 would enter genuinely what I think would be their new golden era if they just let one of them become the ultimate heel. That's it. That's all we're missing. Fuck. I take back everything I said about the press conferences and, the media, representation of the drivers. No. All we need, fuck it. You can keep, even better, you keep all the other drivers censored and then you just have Max Verstappen go. Because he already drives in a way that no other race driver dares to drive. Like, genuinely. So let's just fucking get on the mic and talk the way he actually wants to talk instead of in this fucking, F1 language with all the corporations just breathing down their neck the whole time. It's incredible. They're really missing out. Man, they need me as a fucking consultant, marketing consultant. They really do, man. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But this is all, I say this all with love. I don't know. Of course, a dream is to one day be able to be there in the F1 paddock and see the whole thing go down in real time and just fucking enjoy it. And but no, hilarious shit. Which that is ultimately, again, I go back to this. We're going to be covering F1 2025 season with intensity and thoroughly. But we're going to look at it from a different perspective. We're going to look at it from without the bullshit goggles on, okay? Which I do think a lot of, there's a good chunk of the F1 fans that are like, I swear that's like that fucking, there's a fucking, and I don't know what the percentages are. There's so many F1 fans in the world, but I know there's a good chunk of them that's just Leclerc. Norris. It's like, fuck, okay, I get it. They're young, they're handsome, they're rich. But again, without the bullshit goggles, they have a ginormous ball sacks. And they're so selfish that you cannot even fathom. That's why they're so good at what they do. Holy hell. Yeah, that's sports, man. And you got to be living and breathing it, brother. And you guys got to understand, I'm still balling. And we're going to stay balling. That's the whole concept. No matter the cost, man. There's sometimes when I want to be balling, you know what I'm saying? It comes at a cost. You want to buy that extra beer, you want to buy that extra round for all the buddies, it's going to cost you something. It's going to cost you some dollaroos. What does the dollaroos equate to? Well, it's the hours of work that you put in to get the salary. You want all these subscriptions to all these fucking places, then goddamn it, they got bills, man. You want to ball out like that, you got bills to pay. Shit. I don't even know what fucking accent I'm doing right now, dude. Just fucking, we got to stay balling. And that's the beautiful thing. You look at these athletes, right? And I do think that it's constantly growing, but athletes that retire from the sport, however, they do something. They keep the ballin'. You don't have to only be ballin' on the field, on the sports broadcast, TV broadcast. You don't have to. You just stay balling that way, bro. And then you're just a baller. That's what it is. Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, they stay balling. They still balling. Now they got their own show paid by fucking MGM, right? Like, come on. One of the biggest casinos in the world. Like, come on. They getting paid to do that show. Sunglasses on, smoking their mind out. It's crazy. They're having the fucking best time. They got to stay balling. It's what a real athlete is. They stay balling, bro. And they still balling. Now, some people... No. I can't even hate on Shaq. Sometimes Shaq bothers me just because I see him on everything. But at the end of the day, I can't hate on him. Imagine being that size and you're doing so much actively. What? Do you know how many calories that guy burns just fucking for walking or anything? Just fucking doing anything? The fucking weight he has to lift and move around in order to, move around. Fucking Shaq, man. I think Shaquille O'Neal, in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of history, of all-time history, he's going to go down as one of the most famous people on earth. It's fucking Shaq, man. He is, it genuinely is very simple why Shaq is so famous. It's just the cutest, scare, like, intimidating dude. You know what I'm saying? In a way. He's like got the fucking nicest face, but it's just like he's a size that can like pretty much kill anyone. Like most people, like 99% of the people living on Earth, he could just fuck them up. So I don't know. It's weird, man. And I guess in a way you gotta strive for that. Like everyone's gotta try to. You're like the most lovable person. Like on the surface area, but it's just like the concept of you is still like fucking like, yeah, we're gonna take over this bitch. Yeah, dude. That's what F1, that's what every sports league should, in essence. It's like UFC is like, that's the whole thing. UFC, oh my God, I'm really fucking cracking the code to end the episode. UFC is that. It's like it's a little reverse. It's like, okay, the surface seems like, oh, we're just fucking killing each other. But deep down, what it is just like a deep level of respect and, just fucking example of physical ability and all that. It's just that's what it is. Most of the MMA fight, UFC fights at least that you see, it's shake hands, hug right after the fucking bell rings if it goes to decision. Right? It's a lot of respect. And that's what really I think F1 is lacking a little bit there. The balance is not there. When there's a fundamental like imbalance in the fact that a lot of it is like aggressive, like we're trying to get the slight edge over you, but then everyone, the media represents it. Oh, we're all good, yeah, congratulations, and thank you to the fans and the sponsors, and right, it's very cutthroat, that whole thing, and it should be represented more realistically, I think. And I know, and this comes without saying, UFC, of course, it's not perfect either as an entity, but this is what I'm realizing from an outside perspective. That's where I follow esports as well, and some esports leagues do it way better than the others. The fan base, you can notice, is more genuine and supportive. I love the CDL, as in the Call of Duty League. I've been following it since it got made in 2020. But there's just things right now in terms of just the Call of Duty that's available too with Black Ops 6. It's just like, what are we doing, guys? And it took Saudi Arabia to come in with a boatload of cash to be like, we'll help you. You know what I'm saying? Even though think about how and there's nothing like, if people are skeptical about like buying into this like Saudi Arabia and what they're trying to do with the entertainment business, dude, Call of Duty League, like CDL was about to lose one of their biggest legends in the scene, which is Clayster. And Saudi Arabia had to come in with the common decency to be like, okay, we'll pay this guy. He can at least coach. He'll be able to coach anyways. We can keep him around in the scene. Otherwise, Clayster would have just been fucking, like in a way, like, of course, he's still big enough, streams enough that, he's still in a way household name, but just to keep the fucking guy around. That's the whole thing. You guys got to fucking do it a little. Why is Scump and Zuma not the face of your whole thing? Like, genuinely. Like, why isn't Scump and Zuma the one that's running the CDO? At least from the very, like, broadcast perspective. I'm genuinely interested. They're young enough where they could have and they're not that old either. You know what I'm saying? They're young but not too young, and they're not old but they're not too old. Right? Get Zuma and fucking Scump to run the fucking whole CDL. I genuinely think so. Why do we have some fucking Activision fucking executive or some shit running something that fucking they clearly don't understand about? Look, thank you for doing a Madrid event, but this the thing, man. There's so much potential in this shit. Call of Duty, at the end of the day, is one of the biggest household names in terms of video games. Video game industry is huge. Right, I'm sure that once GTA 6 drops, whenever the fuck that is in the kind of near future, I'm sure that's going to change a lot of shit. Of course, guys, understand, the fucking world is only increasingly getting more and more and more digitized. It already is digitized up our fucking ass too much. if I care to fucking speak my opinion, but the more that it's going to grow, the more video games are simply going to fucking grow. Kind of like the same fucking, stupid logic as cryptocurrency, but it's just like, it's simply more people are going to buy into it. More people are going to get into video games. More people are going to put eyes on esports instead of, athletic sports, which I do think athletic sport, like physical sports, is also just growing and growing. But with all this in mind, why not just take the steps now? Because look, I get it. These leagues are probably already in the fucking minus to begin with. I know Call of Duty leagues is still in the minus. If you guys are that far in the fucking minus, at least get some more people in there so the future might go somewhere. Because right now it's still a lot of fuckery. It's the same kind of fuckery I've seen since the birth of the CDL, which was 2020. And look, I'm not saying, hey, dude, I might still have some bad tendencies that I've had since 2020. But at least I'm fucking addressing them, dog. You know what I'm saying? And we're trying some new shit. We got stand-up comedy. We're doing a lot of stand-up, guys. There's partly the reason why I didn't have really that much time to fully go deep. I hope that this little fucking rant at least sufficed. Yeah, last week's stand-up went pretty well. 5 minutes. Got some laughs, got some applauses. Shout out to Aki from Vanta for buying me a beer after the fucking performance. It was, fuck, dude, that almost got me a little tearjerker, you know what I'm saying, dude? Just some fucking, middle-aged white dude offering you a beer. You know what I'm saying? There's something so simple and fucking delightful about that. So thank you, Aki. Got stand-up in 3 days. Thursday, 27th of February. Don't know the amount of minutes, but it's a full English show. So we're going to be having fun. Lots of familiar names doing the show with me. Shout out to those people. Shout out Kyle Ray. But that's it, man. You guys got to stay balling. All right. If there's one thing I'll leave, is that you gotta stay balling. Gotta stay balling. And motherfucker, I'm a Rexy Pukanikan. I'm still balling. We've been balling, but we still balling. It's been real. Thank you for joining me on this relaxing episode. And next week, we get back fully into it. Much love. That's that. Peace.